If there's one thing that always seems to frustrate us PS5 players, it's those mysterious, agonizingly slow loading times. I mean, who hasn't felt that pain, right? Especially when we know the PC gamers are sitting pretty with their fancy upgrades. But here's the thing, there is something we can do about it, and it's as simple as upgrading your SSD. In this video, we will break down the best 6 SSD for PS5 of 2025. The best SSDs not only slash those load times, but also give you way more storage for all the games you want. And trust me, the top picks bring serious speed and reliability to the table. So if you're ready to take your gaming experience up a notch, let's dive in. Number 6, Adata XPG Gammix S70 Blade. The best value SSD for PS5 for around $76. Labeled as the best value, this SSD comes equipped with the latest PCIe Gen 4 interface, so right out of the gate, you know it's serious about speed. We're talking sequential read/write speeds reaching up to 7,400 and 6,800 MB per second. That's basically double what you get with a PCIe 3.0 SSD, so if you're upgrading from one of those, you're in for a treat. Now, the S70 Blade does make things easier with backward compatibility for PCIe 3.0. However, if you're using it on a PCIe 3.0 port, just a heads up that speeds cap out at around 3,400 and 3,000 MB per second. Not bad, but definitely something to keep in mind if you're looking for the full Gen 4 experience. In terms of capacity, this particular model comes with 1 TB of storage plenty for most gamers, though if you're aiming for a massive game library, you might want to look at higher capacities. It's also built in the M.2 2280 form factor, which is pretty standard these days and fits snugly in most systems as long as your motherboard supports PCIe 4. On the PS5, it performs solidly with a read speed of around 6,100 MB per second. Not quite the 7,400 MB you'd see on a top-tier PC setup, but for console gaming, it's more than enough to handle anything you throw at it. Just make sure your PS5 firmware is up to date. Now, one thing to note, this drive is designed for internal installation, so it may not work in external enclosures. But if you're slotting it directly into your system, the Gammix S70 Blade delivers some serious bang for your buck. Number 5, Kingston Fury Renegade 4TB. And let me tell you, if you're hunting for the best SSD for your PS5, this one checks all the boxes for around $297. Right off the bat, I've got to say the integrated heatsink on this drive is a game changer. For anyone who's serious about long gaming sessions, this feature is essential. It keeps your PS5 cool and running smoothly, even when you're pushing it to the max. Trust me, with the Fury Renegade, you can say goodbye to those annoying loading screens because it's blazing fast, hitting up to 7,300 MB/s. And the capacity? A solid 4 TB. That's a whole lot of space for any gamer's library. So whether you're into big AAA titles or just like having a variety of games on hand, this SSD has you covered. Plus, it uses the latest PCIe Gen 4x4 NVMe technology, which means it's not just about storage, it's about speed and reliability too. You're getting top-notch performance here that outshines many standard options on the market. Another thing I really like about this drive is how well it handles heat. Cheaper SSDs might give you good speeds at first, but they can crash and burn when things heat up. Not with the Fury Renegade though. Thanks to the heatsink, it manages heat effectively, so you can focus on gaming without worrying about stability issues. Now, is it the absolute fastest out there? Not quite, it sits in the middle of the top tier pack. But considering the fantastic PCIe 4.0 performance, great TBW ratings, and the fact that it's surprisingly affordable on Amazon, it's a solid choice. If you're after both speed and storage for your PS5, the Fury Renegade 4TB is definitely worth a thumbs up. Number 4, WD Blackis N850X. The best for gaming on this list for around $339. If you're after some seriously fast load times and smooth gameplay, this SSD has got you covered. With a read speed of up to 7,300 MB/s and write speeds hitting 6,600 MB/s, you can kiss those annoying lags and stutters goodbye. Honestly, it's built to give you that peak performance we're all after, especially during those intense moments when every second counts. This drive comes with 4 TB of storage, which means you've got plenty of room for all your games, plus any other media you might want to throw in there. And the Game Mode 2.0 feature? Total game changer literally. It's designed for Windows, and it helps boost performance by predicting load times and prepping game assets in advance. So your gameplay feels smoother and more responsive, especially if you're streaming or recording. The SN850X also uses PCIe Gen 4x4 NVMe technology, which means it can handle pretty much anything you throw at it. The M.2 2280 form factor makes it a snug fit for most gaming rigs, so compatibility shouldn't be an issue if you're upgrading. Plus, this beast is backed by a 5-year warranty, so you're getting both performance and peace of mind. Now, a couple of things to note: while this drive is an absolute powerhouse for gaming, Game Mode 2.0 is only available for Windows users, so if you're on a different platform, you might miss out on that little boost. But even without it, the speed and reliability alone make this SSD a solid investment for any serious gamer. Overall, the WD Black SN850X is built for those who want to dive into their games without a second's delay. Number 3. Seagate FireCuda 530, my pick for best reliability for PS5. If you're serious about gaming, this SSD is built like a tank and ready to handle anything. First off, it's got blistering fast read speeds of up to 7,400 MB/s and write speeds reaching 6,800 MB/s thanks to that PCIe Gen 4 interface. That means faster load times and smoother gameplay, perfect for both PS5 and PC. What I really like here is the built-in heatsink. Not only does it help maintain those peak speeds for longer sessions, but it also keeps your drive cool during those intense gaming marathons. Say goodbye to throttling and lag. It's built to stay fast and cool, just the way we like it. The FireCuda 530 also supports Microsoft Direct Storage, so if you're into content creation or using the latest Windows features, this SSD has you covered. It's also fully compatible with PS5, so installation is a breeze. Just pop it in and you're ready to roll. Now, one of the biggest selling points for me is its durability. With a whopping endurance rating of up to 5,050 TBW, this drive can really take a beating. You won't have to worry about wearing it down anytime soon, which is a huge plus if you're constantly gaming or creating content. Capacity-wise, you've got options: 1 TB, 2 TB, and 4 TB. I'd say 4 TB is a solid choice for anyone with a big game library, but even the 1 TB will give you enough room for the essentials. The only downside? It's a bit on the pricey side. It costs around $485, but when you factor in the speed, durability, and that built-in heatsink, I'd say it's totally worth it for those who want top-tier reliability. Number 2. Samsung 990 Pro. If you're after top performance for PS5, the Samsung 990 Pro is a powerhouse that's built for tech enthusiasts and hardcore gamers like us. This SSD delivers insane sequential read and write speeds, reaching up to 7,450 and 6,900 MB/s. So, if you're tired of waiting for games to load, the 990 Pro might just be the upgrade you need. What really sets this SSD apart is its efficiency. It uses PCIe 4.0, meaning it's not just fast, but also incredibly power efficient. Compared to the older 980 Pro, it's got a 50% improvement in performance per watt. That's big for anyone who spends hours gaming or working on heavy tasks like video editing or 3D modeling. Samsung's also thrown in some smart thermal control here. The 990 Pro has a nickel-coated controller that keeps it cool and stable, even when you're pushing it to the limits. No more worrying about overheating during those intense gaming sessions, just stable performance without the fan noise. Another cool feature is Samsung Magician software. It's like a personal SSD toolkit that lets you monitor your drive's health, update firmware, and even optimize performance. It's intuitive and a great way to keep your SSD in top shape. Now, one thing to note is that while this SSD offers maxed out performance, it's on the pricier side. It costs around $169 and the capacity is 2 TB. For some, that might not be enough space, especially if you have a huge game library. But with this speed and Samsung's reliability after all, they've been the world's #1 flash memory brand since 2003, you're definitely getting what you pay for. So if you're looking to take your gaming to the next level with insane speeds and top-tier reliability, the Samsung 990 Pro is the way to go. Number 1. Corsair MP600 Pro LPX 8TB. Best overall for PS5, this should be at the top of your list. This SSD is all about power, offering some of the fastest sequential speeds you can get with a PCIe 4, multiplied by 4 interface. We're talking lightning-fast load times and huge file transfers, perfect for anyone who wants to maximize their gaming experience on the PS5. One thing I really appreciate about this drive is its compatibility with PS5. Corsair designed it with a low-profile heatsink that fits perfectly inside your console, so you won't have to worry about squeezing it in. And with 8 TB of storage, you'll have all the room you need for those massive game files and more. Performance-wise, it hits up to 7,100 MBS in sequential reads and 6,800 MBS in writes. This means you're cutting down on load times and getting into your games faster. And the endurance is solid too. It's rated to handle 700 complete rewrites, which translates to reliable long-term use. Plus, it comes with a 5-year warranty, which adds extra peace of mind. Now let's talk about value. Yes, this drive is on the pricier side, but considering the speed and reliability you're getting, it's worth it. Corsair even offers other models with more cooling options, so if you're using it on a PC and have more space, you might find cheaper alternatives with bigger heatsinks or even water cooling options. However, keep in mind that if you're just after raw storage and don't need the fastest speed, you could save a bit by going with a slower PCIe Gen 3 drive. But if speed is your priority and you want something that can handle big files without breaking a sweat, the MP600 Pro LPX is a fantastic choice. Overall, if you want a reliable SSD that's built to last and can keep up with intense gaming demands, the Corsair MP600 Pro LPX 8TB is the way to go. Alright, that's a wrap for today, everyone. Now I'm curious, are you guys looking for a larger SSD with 4 TB or even 8 TB capacity? Or are you good with just 1 TB? Let me know down in the comments. And hey, if this guide helped you out, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Happy gaming, and I'll catch you in the next one.